In this edition of RPP News, a killer behind bars for life, councils are given the nudge, and a good way to make a little cash. Hello, I'm Catie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPP News, bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. Frankston serial killer Paul Denyer is to remain behind bars for life. He will be named in legislation to ensure he can never be released from prison unless he is terminally ill or incapacitated. The legislation follows new advice from the Solicitor General and is worded in the same terms used to keep Hoddle Street killer Julian Knight and Russell Street bomber Craig Minogue in jail. Denyer was convicted in 1993 of the brutal murders of Natalie Russell, Elizabeth Stevens and Debbie Freem. His bid for parole in May caused an outcry from his victims' loved ones and the local community, and a petition calling for legislation change garnered more than 50,000 signatures. Although his application was denied, the family spoke of the stress of facing repeated parole requests. The government made the new announcement 4 months after voting down a similar private bill put forward by the opposition. The bill is expected to be passed by Christmas. The government has announced it will be sidelining local councils to push through 1,400 planning permits for multi-unit homes. Of these permits, the government said 550 have been sitting with councils for over a year. To speed things up, Sonia Kilkenny, the Minister for Planning and now Minister for the Suburbs, is to drive a package of planning reforms, including engaging 90 planners to work through the backlog. Minister Kilkenny says the reforms will give the industry the certainty it needs to get on with building 800,000 homes over the next 10 years. Reverend Tim Costello was one of a number of submitters who tabled their ideas on Frankston Council's draft housing strategy. He has urged the council to add more detail to its strategy to ensure a sufficient amount of stock is put aside for social housing.
Other councils have also taken this seriously because everyone knows that the aim has got to be a minimum of 10% of affordable housing as a percentage of housing stock. Port Phillip is now saying we will need 22% because 22% of our people are in need of affordable housing. Mornington Peninsula has done the work and 14% of its people will need affordable housing. I'm still wanting to say I'm very disappointed that this housing strategy, which is fine in other respects, has not addressed this issue. In Frankston, it's only 2.6% of all housing stock that's affordable. 2.6%. That's lower than the Melbourne average of 3%, which everyone says is way too perilous.
A new state government initiative has created an opportunity for people to get some extra cash in their pocket during the current cost of living crisis. The Container Deposit Scheme launched on Wednesday and is already being embraced by Peninsula locals. The program incentivises people to recycle by offering a 10-cent reward for each bottle, can or carton they return to a refund point. Refund points are located across the peninsula in petrol stations, bottle-os and council facilities. You can choose to keep the money or donate to a participating charity or community group. Collected containers will be recycled. It's estimated the program will reduce litter on the peninsula by 50%. Cricket fans were shaken by a near miss in the Mornington Peninsula Cricket Association provincial game between Heatherhill and Long Island last Saturday. Heatherhill's opening batsman Matthew Bishop, who was not wearing a helmet, was struck just below the temple near the upper jaw, trying to hook a bouncer in the third over from Long Island paceman Matt Schimmel. Captain Christian Miller said he and the team were very shaken by the incident, which resulted in Bishop receiving scans at the Frankston Hospital. He was later cleared with a swollen face. After the dramatic opening, Miller combined with Jonah Avery to score a century, and Heatherhill went on to win with 6 wickets and 7 overs spare. And multi-award-winning South African-New Zealander Ursula Carlson is bringing her comedy to Frankston for 2 shows only. In Just Know, Ursula learns it's not sport, love or peace that brings us together, it's our frustrations. People who do us wrong by doing things like blatantly cutting in front of you in a queue. Ursula has garnered a legion of fans worldwide with her Netflix special Overqualified Loser and is a regular at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival and 10 smash hit panel show Have You Been Paying Attention? Now she's coming to Frankston on Thursday the 9th of November for 2 shows. Tickets are available at the Frankston Arts Centre box office and website. After the break, I will be back with the coming week's weather report.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but the 5th biggest retail bank is snapping at their heels. It's a bank that's been around for over 160 years, can be found in over 500 locations nationwide, looks after over 1.8 million customers, and is regularly voted one of the most trusted brands out of all the thousands of brands in Australia. Who is this fantastic number 5? Yep, it's Bendigo Bank. The better big bank.
Established in 1988, Progress Signs has been servicing the local community for 30 years. Located on the Mornington Peninsula, they are the #1 destination for all your signage needs, specialising in a variety of signage from vehicles to shop fronts, occasional and corporate events, short-term, long-term and everything in between. If it's signs you need, be it large or small, Progress Signs is the place to call. Available 24/7 at progress-signs.com.au or call the team on 5975 9188. Thinking signs? Think Progress Signs. A station sponsor.
Battery World now open in Mornington.
We know batteries. We know our 75 D23Ls from our DIN 65LHs. And we know which is best for you. We have the range and a spark no one else can match, because we live and breathe batteries. Those beautiful boxes and cylinders that power our lives and our passions. That's why we're the batteryologists. We're Battery World.
Battery World Shop 1, 43 Mornington Tyre Road, Mornington.
Welcome back. Let's now take a look at the coming week's weather. Well, the weather over the last few days has almost been a return to winter conditions, while the rest of the country has been experiencing a heat wave. Let's take a deep dive into what this week has in store for us. Today, Sunday the 5th of November, should bring us a mostly sunny day. We are looking at a low of 10 and a high of 22. Monday brings us a partly cloudy day. We should feel a low of 9 and a high of 25 degrees. Tuesday sees the rain returning across the peninsula. We can expect a low of 12 and a high of 25. Wednesday sees an overcast day with a low of 14 and a high of 24. Thursday also brings us clouds. We should see a low of 12 and a high of 23 degrees. Friday sees the sun popping its head out from behind the clouds, bringing us a warmer day where we will feel a low of 13 and a high of 22. And finally, Saturday sees this trend continue with a low of 14 and a high of 23 degrees. Well, that's all for this week. Try to enjoy the sun while you can, and hopefully Bianca will be back in 2 weeks' time with another RPP weather update. And now we cross to our surf guru, Muzz, with this week's Peninsula Surf Report.
Well, hello, it's Muzz. I'm back here with another Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. Here we go at the start of a long weekend, which sort of, I guess, it really kicks off summer for us, which is, has its good sides and its bad sides, I guess. It's been far from summer this week, so it's been pretty ordinary. But that's just what happens in springtime. All the campgrounds are open, all the roads are getting busy, people are heading down. There's plenty on this weekend if the surf's average, like the Red Hill Market and the Mornington Cup races and all sorts of stuff. So if there's no surf, you won't be stuck with things to do. That's whether you want to put up with the traffic and the people and the crowds, but so be it. As far as surf goes, looks like next couple of days is going to be this southeasterly onshore, so the surf's going to be pretty rubbishy, except for maybe 1 or 2 sort of tucked away places, or if you're happy with 1 foot, 2 foot little sloppy waves in Western Port, you'll be right. But it looks like maybe Monday, definitely Tuesday, there'll be waves on the beach race between Gunnemanna and Portsea, probably Wednesday and the next week. But it's a very small, weak little swell, so best you could hope for, maybe 2 foot, 3 foot on Tuesday. about the same on Wednesday, and in the morning Monday could be okay too. So, but the sea breeze will come in this spring. Water's slowly warming, but not one of our best weeks coming up. But you will get wet, so hopefully you'll get surf, and we'll get through this next 4 days, and then we'll see what happens in the following week. So enjoy a long weekend down the peninsula if you're here, and if you're going somewhere else, enjoy that as well. And I'll see you next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPP News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. We're taking a week off, so we'll see you for the next edition in 2 weekends' time.